The word threat is a word that accompanies us both in our conversations from layer to layer, from time to time. And I was just thinking while I was washing the dishes here today, I was just looking at the fact that for me to come closer does not mean that now I am a victim of my decision. It means that I was listening and I heard something and I was saying yes to it, and I was coming there with my heart and soul. And when you come to something with your heart and soul, you don't hold on to anything. You just have your heart and soul. And from there you act, and from there you create relationships. But it's not that I was, and that's the difference between the settlers in the sense of course, many settlers are like that. Yeah, and I'm inspired from them, are like what I just said, and more than me. Yeah, yes. But there are settlers who are coming from ideology, which does not mean that they come with their heart and soul. They come with their minds, and they are slaves of fear and of identification, of identity. And that is so very much dangerous. First of all, for the human being who is doing that, and then for everyone else. And then you become a monster. Okay? And that goes for every one of us. When we do something and then we identify with what we did instead of coming closer, inhaling everything inside, because I'm surrounded by at least 3, I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm living there for 2 years already. I haven't figured out how many muezzins am I listening to at 5 points in the day, but every time I hear them, I feel very secure. Now you would ask, am I stupid? Do I not understand what they sometimes do? But for me, that's the best thing that I could ask for, okay? When you really pray. And I love to pray when I don't understand the words, because that's the real prayer, actually. But then you're not close. It's the only thing that I can say now. It's not that if you come close, you won't be afraid. It's that when you come close, you are alive, and then you see, you listen, and you move in the sense of there's motion in you, and then you do something, or you stop doing something. When you see threats in everything, you are in your mind. You're trying to protect yourself, and you see in everything, and even in the one of the worst crises ever that Israel is in, the words or sentences like, we can't count on anyone, everyone is fake, everyone is that's not true. That's the shock and the fear that translates itself into like principles that we feel that are, this is how it is, but it's not. You don't. There's no such thing as getting too close. There is a thing of not being able to, of being in your mind and dealing with ideas. Ideas are far. They create like a parallel universe. The truth is, if I speak from the truth, then there is no getting closer, because we are one. It is not going away. It is not creating a distance within me or between me and someone else. There is no, ideas create a distance. It's like I feel as if I play with a game that is not true, not real, that I can distance myself. How can I distance myself from seeing a woman whose belly is open and the fetus is taken out of her belly and crushed to the ground before her eyes when she's crying because they're cutting her? She's screaming. Okay, how can I be distant from that? I can't. Unless in me there is a thought that I rely on or that I identify with that tells me, no. Everyone tells me, don't look at those, just don't look at those videos. How can I not? How can I not? How can I hear that they burned children in front of their mother's eyes and I won't ask to see and to feel? If the only time where this can happen is if I distance myself, because I'm so close, because I am the mother and I am the child and I am those who were burnt before. This is me. This is us. This is the one. It is not different. So when you ask, how do I know, or what happens when I get too close? You don't get too close. You get close. You are close because you are influenced, because we are one, and then it gets to you. But then you close your eyes because if you say it's too much, then you begin to pay a price. Yeah. When I spoke about me not listening to the fragility of the situation, what I actually want to see, or what we actually want to see, is that we didn't listen. There is a threat, but the question is, what is it threatening? The question of what to do, is it responsible to ask? When you ask this question, what is your goal? When you ask,
get rid of the threat.
Right.
To get rid of the threat.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, what is running your life?
Trying to get rid of the threat and survive.
Right.
Yes.
So actually, then you see everything as a threat, or you know basically that there is a threat that may erupt in every moment, and you focus on that, which causes you to not see beauty beyond whatever the crack in your shelter allows you to see. And then you also are tired of what is happening, and you are just not in touch with your magnificence. Okay? You are not in touch with that. You're actually concerned with surviving. The question of what to do, is it responsible to ask? Then the answer is, if you ask this, you are left in your shelter with a very narrow hole to see the world. Okay? And you will be a slave of your fears. When we allow ourselves not to be run by fear,
Yes.
then we do illogical things which are actually maybe called miracles. They come from another dimension. They have very, very substantial, truthful logic, which the mind does not grasp. And we're very lucky to have this. So when I walk with joy on the fence, next to my house, seeing Arab villages around, I also see how flourishing their agriculture is, how beautiful the greenery is. I love hearing the muezzin, and I also am willing to die if a sniper snipes me, like shoots me. It's like, maybe it would be that way, but I don't want to live my life just by fear. And this is a deep wait, just one more sentence, and that's a very deep connection to what really is. And I let myself be crushed now. Why? Because being close means that. Okay, so I'm asking people to send me, and I'm going into Telegram because I don't know how to work with that, Telegram and TikTok, in order to see, because I want to see. And that is being close. And if I feel that it's too much, then I go and lay down and hold Zoe in my hand and tell her a lot of stories, or I hug Joy, or I take care of my children, or I cook, or I write, or I publish posts with missing persons, or I do satsangs, or like interviews, and so on. Because being close means knowing that there is no distance between you and everything, that everything is you and you are everything. It is not that you came close. It's that you're not living an illusion that tells you that you can be far away. And it's okay to go to London, and it's okay not that I give the permission, but we're human beings, and it's okay also to say that it's too much for me. And it's okay to also sometimes watch a movie that really takes you to another world and shows you beauty, because it's human. We're not supposed to be. That's also close to myself. The circumstances that don't matter as an objective entity. And that is something that I wish to elaborate a bit, either through your questions or... But look, you are trying to look outside, okay, to what is right to do or how things work, and like trying to figure out what's the right way to go about it. Yeah, not ideology, I mean, but like, how does it work? How does we work? How do we work? Like, how does it work? Like a mechanism, okay? Yes. And then to see what's the right thing to do. But actually, the only thing that gives us life, which is much more than happiness, in the sense that things are happening as I wish them to happen, things are not happening when I really didn't want them to happen, but actually really looking at things, at life, not at things, and letting it like take you over. And then see what your inner motion tells you. When I say that I want to live like Switzerland, like in Switzerland, that is something that makes me enslaved to an idea. And now the world comes to me, life comes to me, and I treat it as threatening and like something I need to deal with, not useful, or an opportunity. Those three, this is how it is when I come from an idea. When I come with, I know what I want, and then I look at things and I see what they do to me. Are they an opportunity, useless, or danger? But as long as you don't answer the questions that I asked before and you go to what to do, then you're trapped. Everything that we would say would be sucked in to that trap. The question is not what to do.
Sure.
The question is, are you close? And the question is, what do you think is really being threatened? Okay? If you don't ask this question, you are the result, every one of us is the result of old beliefs that have nothing to do with the truth, with how things really are. I'm doing the best I can so that I'm now complying to what I now feel. There is nothing that says anything about the next moment. Things are happening and it needs good people. People need good people. And there are many, many people, not good in their hearts. There are many people who are good in their hearts. But they are afraid and they are run by illusions and ideas. And it's time to wake up and to see how sterile and how terrible the mind is when we use it wrongly, as we do. It's the problem that we have. Then when I listen to the videos and to the testimonies, what I go through is to feel that so much that I experience. I don't experience it as if it happened to my children, but I experience it very, very, very strongly. You see, I'm talking to you, my eyes are getting shut because it's so terrible. It's so terrible. If a human being can do that, then I did not understand what a human being is. And that goes for me too. Okay, then did I not understand myself? Am I blind to myself? What am I seeing? Is there a reality where I could do that? Getting in touch with that, not theoretically, not psychologically, ontologically, like truthfully, in the existence, becoming in touch. And if I don't do that, then it's shallow words. It's ideas that we exchange. It's not really going through that. It's if the particles go apart. The particles that we're made of, when you see those things, it's like there's no thought, not words to convey a thought. There is nothing that can capture this. And if someone tells you that he did, don't believe him. He's speaking from his mind. There is no way. So the question of what to do with that, but that is inaccessible to you, and to all of us, of course, unless we let it hit us. Really. And we don't if we're trying to eliminate threat. Then I keep away, and that's the cycle. You still did not answer. Wait, because until you answer, you are captured by your ideas, by the dimension of thought that cannot grasp life itself. It can only try to speak about it and then distort it, or do poetry or art. But nothing, if you don't really die to self, in the sense that you let it take you over, then, and you don't ask the question, what is being threatened? What is really? And you will ask this question and you will be left, I think, for a while with no answers, and also with shock and with resistance within you, because the mind screams, no, don't watch it, don't see how her legs are, what he's doing to her, how she's dead and what she's gone through, and you can see it on her body, what she was. Don't look at that, the mind cries, but you cannot. If you don't, then you're left intact, and if you're left intact, then you're in danger. You need to go through, and then what happens is that you are here and you are looking at what's happening, and you see what is crushed, and still, very strangely, it is not you. And it can happen to you.
Yes.
And still, you are not crushed. But I'm not saying that in order to give hope, and then you can stay with your ideas, and I can stay with mine, but it's to understand that unless I'm willing to experience what is happening to my bone, and then be left there for a while, and then ask what really was crushed, if I think something was crushed, or if I say it is unbearable, then I would say, if it did happen, and you say that it's unbearable, then who is speaking now? Were you what? Did you go crazy? And when I speak to people who might go crazy, I say to them, if you will be crazy, if you will go nuts, that would be because you created a parallel reality. You really believe that you cannot inhale this cruelty inside. And you are concerned with pushing the threat away, which you can't, and you will be more afraid, and the shelter would be with less windows and more narrow windows. But if you let it happen, then you would see that at a certain point there is this, and you can see who you thought you were, what you went through, how it is, and you're here. And that would create a new logic also. You would understand things that you haven't understood, and it would make you free.